Today we're talking about the LiteChaser Pro for the iPhone 12 Pro by Polar Pro. How many times can I say Pro? Roll the intro. So Polar Pro just announced their LiteChaser Pro system. It's going to be a filter and lens mount system for the iPhone 12 Pro and the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Man, how many times am I going to say Pro in this video? This is a pre-order, so if you're watching this after November 30th, 2020, you won't even probably get this case until after March 1st. If you do pre-order here in the last week of November, there's a chance you'll get it sometime in January, but we'll kind of see how that all lands out with everything that's going on. So I'm a fan of Polar Pro's stuff. I have their V&D filter, the 2 to 5. I have their UV filter, the CP filter, and the mist filter, which I already did a video on, and I'll link somewhere around here. And I know there's a previous version of the LiteChaser Pro for the iPhone 11, but this is a whole new system and a whole new case that is not backwards compatible, so I wanted to talk about it. First off, let's talk price. There are two pre-order kits, both at the same price point for the Pro and the Pro Max. There's a filmmaking kit for $149 that includes the case, the grip, a CP filter, and the 3 to 5 stop V&D. If you bump up from the filmmaker's kit to the director's kit, you'll get the 3 to 5 V&D plus mist along with the Bluetooth shutter control. Both include mini defender cases and lens covers, which I really like. I love having lens covers even on my mobile photography stuff. And the cases come in 3 different colorways: black, sage, and Mojave. The sage is kind of like this sandy, definitely not green, but definitely not brown. And the Mojave is more of like a reddish, orangish kind of clay dirt feel. Now, most of you know I've been shooting mobile photography for over a decade now. I've used Moments lenses for going on half of that time, and it's awesome to see that this case will be compatible with those lenses. That means if you want to throw on the tele lens on that 1x camera on the iPhone Pro to get better low light performance but still have that telephoto focal range, get some natural bokeh, you can do that. You also then get the macro lens and the fisheye, so you have a really wide repertoire of, that's a $10,000 word right there. You have a wide range of focal lengths, both built into the phone and also accessible to you through that lens mount system. Now, it's important to note the Polar Pro filters that you can attach to the case are not compatible when the Moment lenses are attached. So you'll have to choose between the two, whether you're gonna shoot with a Moment lens or use one of the Polar Pro filters to sort of shape your shot. Another thing to note is that with the V&Ds, both the mist and the regular V&D, they are not compatible with the ultra wide lens on the iPhone 12. My guess is there's probably some heavy vignetting there with that wide of a lens and also with a lens that's not centered on the actual filter itself. The grip looks like the same grip from the previous LiteChaser. It attaches to the case's rail system, so you don't have as much flexibility and placement as you would with something like the shoulder pod. But because of that rail system, you know when that thing grips onto that case, it is not going anywhere, which is really nice. I do like that there's a threading on the top and the bottom of the grip, so that gives you a lot of flexibility in how you can attach this system to something like lights, microphones, things like that. Now with the Bluetooth shutter, I can't say I'm particularly excited about it. I like firing the touch screen when I have the grip on my phone. Just having my thumb there and the weight of a phone versus a mirrorless camera, it's kind of weird to reach out over with my finger. Another thing is with Bluetooth, I don't want to miss a shot because I forgot to turn on the Bluetooth shutter control, or it didn't pair correctly, or it was paired correctly, and then for some reason now doesn't connect for whatever reason. I've had Bluetooth issues in the past trying to fire remotely, and it's not something I want to rely on. I think it would have been cool, especially at this price point, to have a hardware connected shutter control. And while you're at it, just put a battery in the grip as well, so you could charge the phone while you're out shooting. You could get a dedicated connection point where you're not worried about having to wirelessly pair the accessory to make sure you're getting the shot. I think that would have been really nice. It is cool that these cases are MagSafe compatible. It is especially important if you want to have a studio setup where maybe you have an external mic connected over the Lightning port and you still want to be connected to power. Having that MagSafe compatibility is going to allow you to keep the phone powered, still have an external audio device connected, and make filming in a studio setup a lot easier. Now let's get to the highlight of this kit, which is the filters. The CP filter is a filter I love shooting with on my mirrorless camera. Anytime there's water involved, sunrise, sunset, that is the filter that I'm using, especially when I don't need full V&D stops because the light isn't harsh yet. There's already some nice soft lighting and I don't want to be stopping down my camera. I think the CP is actually going to be for people who are shooting sunrise, sunset, golden hour, those kinds of things. I think that's going to be the killer filter for this setup. Now the V&D 3 to 5, there's no 2-stop like there is on the Polar Pro filters for mirrorless DSLRs, things like that. What that tells me is this filter is going to probably only be on your phone in the harshest of daylight conditions when you're out kind of around peak noon hour or whatever time for your time zone and place in the world is for sort of peak brightness. Now those mist filters, if you didn't see my video on the Polar Pro mist and V&D filter, I'll link it around here somewhere. Again, there is no 2-stop. I do think though this is going to become a very popular thing, especially with smartphone photography. With a lot of the computational photography stuff, there's been a lot of sort of over sharpening to sort of portray clarity and quality with a mobile device. And I think throwing the mist filter on something like a phone camera is going to make it look really natural. And I think that's actually going to be, I think it's going to become something that's very in fashion coming into the next year. It's really easy on the eyes, and I kind of like that a lot. I think that's a good deal. Now my biggest question here is, who is this system for? I mean, if you're a hobby photographer and videographer, you've already purchased $1,000 to $1,500 phone. I don't think you're going to be let down by Polar Pro with this system. Polar Pro makes some of the best stuff in the business, and I think anyone who does purchase this is going to be really happy with it. The Polar Pro quality that I have for the filters that I have on my mirrorless cameras are second to none, so I'm sure this is going to be a really awesome system to have. But I say that because if you're looking to start a channel, this gets into a price territory where you could probably buy a Canon RP along with some Polar Pro filters, cards, maybe even an external mic for this kind of money. You definitely could buy a crop sensor camera, plenty of Polar Pro's filters, along with an external mic, cards, batteries, maybe even an aperture light or a studio light to go along with it. And for me, another thing I was thinking about in 2020, so much of our lives have changed. I know my life has changed. I primarily work from home here in this office, and going out is more of sort of a pleasure, enjoyable thing. I don't have to go out to go to work or do sort of what was my previous normal routine where I would just want to carry a phone on me. Instead, now when I go out, I actually like taking my camera out. It's more of an event, and it's more of something that I do want to document. I'm a little bit more intentional about it, and I don't want to be as connected because here at home now, home has become sort of my connected place. So that's something definitely to think about, is if you invest this kind of money, are you going for it for the hobbyist kind of perspective? Or if you are interested in starting a channel or building a brand, is this the best investment of that money as far as quality goes? I think only you can answer that question given the information that I've given you here. I'm curious, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. If you pre-order one of these kits, or if you are looking to pre-order one of these kits, or if you would pre-order one of these kits if it was on a different system, like the Pixel 4a or the Pixel 5, some of the Galaxy phones out there, OnePlus. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Stephen Foster. Subscribe to this channel if you aren't already. I would be honored if you would. I think honor is like a pretty good thing. I'm bringing it back. It's gonna be a good time. Let's do it. Please be kind both in life and in the comments below. Like this video to spread good vibes across the internet, because who wouldn't want to do that? I think that's a good deal. And I look forward to doing it again with you guys soon.